I'm here with Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well this evening and looking forward to another great instalment of the Formulaeuroleague.
Yeah, last time we raced in Brazil. It was a good race, I don't know, but new grid, a lot of new drivers, much more talent than last season, and a lot of contenders for the race win and the podium. So it's really unpredicted. The last two races, Kai and Tim really fought for the win of the Grand Prix. Two times it was Kai winning on track. Or was Tim? No, it was two times Kai winning on track and Tim winning on penalties. But we will see what happens in this race. The drivers we have so far are Simon and Maiko in the Mercedes. In Ferrari we have Joran and Steve. In the Aston Martin Red Bull Racing we have Tim and Donkey. Renault we have Cortes, and Benjamin still needs to join the session. In the Haas we have Paul and Monster. Monster has a qualifying ban. In the McLaren we have Lorenzo and Mikey. In the Racing Points we have Ice-T and probably Kai. Alpha we have Karam and Enrique. In the Red Bull Toro Rosso we have Jelle and Luke. And in the Williams we have Felix with a special helmet and Thomas, the championship leader, next to him. Yeah, we have 19 drivers so far, but they'll probably rise up to 20 because Benjamin's in the session and he still needs to pick a seat. Same for Kai. But they still have 3 minutes to join the session.
Well, it was a great race in Germany. For those of you that haven't seen the last race, do check that out. I won't spoil it too much, but it was a great battle between Tim in the Red Bull and VSR Berry, who's still waiting to join the session in the Racing Point. It's been quite the rivalry between those two. Of course, neither are really in the championship battle, and only a point separating them in their own little battle for the championship as well. So they're well in the hunt, and a top 3 championship finish is well on the cards, maybe even second place if they keep pushing, depending on how Maiko continues to drive. But
I think they could take it.
The rivalry between them two has been building very, very nicely. They always seem to find themselves battling each other on track. They're very, very consistent, very even on pace, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the next stage of their rivalry unfolds, and it's definitely one to look forward to for next season, potentially for a championship. Further on the grid you've got the championship leader Darfi for 114, well out in front of the championship. Of course, Maiko returned after his injury in Germany, and he is back with us once again. So there's still life in this championship. Having said that though, it does seem that Darfi has this championship to lose. And
I can't find the stream, so I can't look at the chat. It's not popping up on the page.
It does tend to take a while for the stream to pop up, so just bear with it.
To let you guys know something. Euroleague yesterday announced something really great. We have a new website which is where you can find all the information about the league, the drivers, the commentators, me and Adam, and a bit of the history of Formulaeuroleague. Who are the championship? Who won the championship? Just let me see what the website link is. It's in the bio of the Instagram channel. It's formerly F1 European League.wixsite.com/Formulaeuroleague. So it's a bit like the same, but just when you have F1 European League.wixsite.com/Formulaeuroleague. Make sure to check the website out. Really good job by Maiko who made it. And we also expanded to Xbox League Racing, which still needs to start, but I'm sure I will start anytime soon. And also make sure, if you haven't watched the German race and you don't want to watch the whole race, Rune, our graphic designer, made an absolute fantastic highlight, so make sure to check that one out on the YouTube channel. So yeah.
It's also on top of the website, guys. Don't forget to follow us on social media as well. So that's on Instagram, we're Formula_Euro_League, and our YouTube channel is under the same handle as you would have known. Please do like, share, and subscribe. We smashed past the 100 subs target at the last race, and we're currently looking towards the 200 target.
Already 117 in 1 week, more than 10 subscribers.
The only way we're going to get there is if we continue to receive your love and support. So please continue to support us at Formulaeuroleague. We are very, very quickly up and coming.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to get more support for the future, and we'll be able to bring you more content. Yeah, absolutely. So do comment in the stream as well. Remember, let us know who you think is going to finish on pole position for this qualifying session. For those of you unfamiliar with the format for Formulaeuroleague, it's a one-session shootout, 18 minutes of qualifying. Similar Formula 1 rules apply. Top 10 drivers on dry conditions starting on the tyres they set their fastest time, and the rest will have a free choice. And then following that is a 50% race where it'll be all pedal to the metal as everyone tries to win the Brazilian Grand Prix, a race, Matthias, that's been shrouded in its history, most often for its championship climaxes in previous years.
Well, you also saw 27 and drastic title changes. Kim Raikkonen winning it in 2007, and Felipe Massa being world champion for 30 seconds till.
Is that Glock?
Is that Glock? Yeah.
So is that Glock?
Is that Glock? So it just was fixing the telemetry and stuff.
That's quite right. Yeah, so as you said, Matthias, so yes, it's been a race shrouded in championship history, of course, that famous year in 2008, where Lewis Hamilton, a year after just missing out on winning in his rookie season, ended up becoming world champion in a dramatic fashion on the final lap. It was also the scene in 2012 where Sebastian Vettel looked like he'd thrown away the opportunity to be world champion after a first lap spin,
with Bruno Senna,
corner, but also ended up finishing the race in second place and winning the world championship from Fernando Alonso
by 3 points. So
yes, it was so tight.
Yeah, Brazil is one of my favorite tracks. I still want to visit it in my life, but the chance is really small. If that won't ever happen, it's also the home of Ayrton Senna, where he won famously after his gearbox was stuck in 5th or 6th gear in the closing stages of the race, and Riccardo Patrese closed in on him. As we watch Lorenzo starting his lap. Wait, Monster.
Well,
Monster, you can't drive. You have a quali ban, my friend.
Well, this has obviously not been enforced then. Someone needs to tell him to go into the pits then to stop him from preventing the time, or we could receive further penalties from the stewards.
Yeah, he was told in the official chat multiple times. Just let me plug it in the official.
So until then, we're with Lorenzo Race at the moment, who's on his first lap in the McLaren. McLaren, obviously very, very famous experiences, and have got a lot of history at the Brazilian Grand Prix. As Matthias just mentioned, Ayrton Senna in the 1991 Brazilian Grand Prix, famously winning in the McLaren whilst the car was stuck in 5th gear, drove him to the point where he literally collapsed and couldn't barely stand up on the podium after celebrating his victory. Those cars really took its toll on you back in the day. Not quite like these cars, a little bit easier to drive by comparison, but obviously still a very big challenge now, as Lorenzo Race was about to come across the line to set the opening time. He hugs the first side and a 1:10. Not a bad lap from him, and not a bad opening lap, but I'm expecting poles to be in the 1:9s at least.
Yeah, I think Felix can get into the 1:8, maybe 1:7 in time trial, so he just wants to watch. He's really fast at the Brazilian Grand Prix track. Mikey goes with the 1:09.9999.
And KJ Eltinger's out of the session, guys, out of the session. He lost it coming out of the final corner, really, and he just lost the rear end and smashed it into the wall. And he's out of the session. Yellow flag in sector 3, so no one's going to be able to set fast time.
The fastest lap.
Karen's gone fastest. The times are starting to tumble in, but that racing point is still in the way as it's
Yeah,
now been
watch
cleared.
Jelle getting a bit of a slipstream from Michael. What's he's going to do? Provisional pole 184. He's quite some time ahead of the guys behind him. Monster probably now be the. I'm
So
sorry,
now
that's
Monster's
Paul.
left so Monster's left
Yeah.
the session now, so obviously he's been reminded that he's got a quali ban, so that's fine, because that means he will start from the back of the grid, as
Paul's
previously
next one to set a
arranged.
lap time. It's P2 for him. Then we have Rike, the man who has failed to score a point now, is in P5. 5 tenths behind his teammate. Felix probably now. Oh no, it's Renault or Benjamin going for his lap. What is Felix going to do with his special Brazilian helmet?
Yeah, it's just the right kind of helmet.
Ooh, behind Jelle probably was a slow lap on the soft end. But it's been a good lap from Jelle there in P1.
So yeah, Lorenzo really setting the pace, really hooking it
It's
up
a
nicely.
full wet
around this
race
track.
I got in my ear, so the race is going to be in the rain. Steve hooking up also in the 1.8. Same for Maiko, just in front of his championship rival. Simon, it's Joran almost crossing the line in P8 only. And now Cortez crossing the line in P2. Benjamin is the next one to set a lap time, I think. Yes, he is coming up to the final corner. With the classic number 69.
Yeah, there's always one in every lobby that drives with 69 on their car.
Yeah, but for Benjamin it's a myth, it's a legend. And he also, ooh, it's a 182. And also some driver transfer move news. Benjamin will be switching to Ferrari. Steve will be switching to McLaren. And Luke will remain at Williams, but now for a main seat. And Williams made a partnership deal with Alfa Romeo, but further notice what that will mean. Now Simon crossing the line in 9th place only. I see already invalidated this lap here, the man who is going into the Williams team next season.
Yeah, so it looks like everyone's already in the groove. As you mentioned, the weather forecast for the race will be a wet one. So we may end up in a position where the drivers currently setting their times now, everyone's going to be on the soft tyres knowing that. It makes no sense to try and set a time on the slower tyres and everyone's on the soft tyres, because purely and simply, if it's going to be a wet race, everyone's going to be starting on wet tyres. So the top 10 rule doesn't really apply in this situation.
No, not really. I think it's going to be a 2-stop then, full wet to full wet. What is Luke going to do? Professional pole for him, almost in the 1/7.
Oh, that's a great lap. So
That's a great lap from the Dutchman. Really
So
proving
originally
himself.
said a 1:09 would be enough for pole position. I've clearly underestimated the field, or I need to get back out there and start driving Brazil again, because clearly some of these, I've underestimated some of our drivers here. They're doing some great stuff from them.
Well, if you said 1/9s will be enough for pole, then only Lorenzo wouldn't be enough for take pole. 14 guys enough for pole, in your opinion?
Yeah, so let's not guess with me. So yeah, right now it looks like a very, very good time from Luke, but this track is usually one of those that
Tim
get
goes
faster and
wide.
faster and faster.
But I also have an announcement to make from Tim. Tim, I think, I don't know if Josh knows this, but the team was of Red Bull, but Tim will be leaving Red Bull after the season. The guy won 2 out of 2 Grand Prix. Will be officially leaving his team while he's going to the pit lane, and his teammate is trying to set his lap.
Just coming out of the pits now, Matthias, is Ice-T in the Racing Point, the championship leader for VRL. Those who are unfamiliar, do check that out.
I think.
So a very much accomplished driver at the moment. and he's been performing pretty well. I mean, he's been fairly consistent, but he's had a bit of misfortune the last couple of races, been involved in earlier incidents which has hampered his progress. But he's a driver that's got plenty of pace, currently battling for third place in the Drivers' Championship with Bob Tormens, Felix, Tim Wetwig and Berry as well, and Benjamin, of course, in the Renault. So there's a very, very nice battle shaping up with 6 drivers for third place, and he's riding them at the front of it. He'll be looking for a very big performance today. He was telling me in the week he's not really been happy with his drives in Formulaeuroleague, and he really wants to step up and get back into the podium places, and there's no reason why he can't do that. He's got the speed, he's a very good driver.
The thing I really love, Jelle, the man who had an okay season, I think, is now in P3, which will be a really good qualifying from him. Wait, he's also on his lap coming to the final corner, getting a bit of a slipstream from Simon, who's in P11. Can he improve his time or position? Just not. He got a purple last sector, so that means a lot of goods for the Dutch driver. Thomas locking up into turn 1. Felix also coming through the last corner, so we'll be spectating with him.
And the beauty, of course, with having a race in the way, as the 2 Ferraris slipstreaming each other, and Joran getting the benefit from his teammate there, but he's only 11th fastest, so
Felix improves to 5th place.
Towards the end of that qualifying lap, Matthias, both the Ferraris were slipstreaming each other up the final straight, so that's a nice little tactic. You see, in the real world of Formula 1, Ferrari used to do this quite often in some races, but never seemed to get it right. But good to see that those two really making use of it. However, for Joran, it's only 11th at the moment, and they're sticking very close together now. So, by the looks of it, it may be a tactic they might try another run.
He crosses the line, still on P2. Probably Thomas is the next one to set a lap time. I think he is. Oh, he just invalidated it by just cutting a bit of the corner.
We say cutting a bit of the corner. APG TP Cortez in the Renault is having his own little rally event. As he's driving all, if you go to him at the moment, he's currently in 4th place, but he's having his own little rally event where he's driving all over the circuit, cutting through half the track. Clearly not going to count this time around, but I admire the effort. Although that back end is really loose at the moment, very dirty on them tyres. And speaking of
what can Micah do from P7?
So right now you've got the 2 leaders, Luke and Benjamin, our double gamer, both setting flying laps at the moment. They're literally right on top of each other at the moment, as Luke is, well, he's well off the pace in the middle sector, so he's obviously going to abandon this lap. Benjamin, on the other hand, is not a bad effort from him. He's gone faster.
What can Luke do in the second run? Doesn't improve his time, but still on provisional pole position.
So Benjamin improved slightly there, but he's still a 10th off at the moment. Wasn't really impeded much by the Williams that was slow behind him and stayed well off the race at 9.
Adam.
Yes.
Do you have a question of the week?
I do. I was going to get round to this. So this one shouldn't be a very difficult one for you guys, but considering that we've got a wet race forecasted for coming up, I figured I'd reminisce a little bit and ask about an event in 2003. So, 2003, nicknamed the Chaos in the Rain. Now, this race was originally, in 2003, Brazilian Grand Prix was a race heavily marred by the wet weather and a lot of big crashes. It was a race that got stopped because of the dangerous conditions. Now, the driver who run the race across the line was Kimi Räikkönen. Can you name the driver that actually was given the race after the 2-lap countback? So all I want to know is the driver that won the Brazilian Grand Prix after the countback.
We'll get P3 for Ice-T.
So let me know who was the race winner in Brazil in 2003, as Kimi Räikkönen passed them before the countback, which overruled that overtake and gave that driver the victory 5 days later in a court hearing in Paris. 2003 Brazil. Let me know in the comment section, see which one you can get it. It should be an easy one for those of you that remember that race.
think it's not a really difficult one, this one, even I know
Although
it.
try not to, yeah, it's not a difficult one, this one. I want to do an easy one because nobody got the question right last week until you said it, Matthias, funny enough, on last week's stream. So I want to try and make it a little bit easier.
What can Donkey want? 4 guys failed to set a lap time. Kai and Monster with a DNF. Both Red Bulls are the only one who are still running and haven't set a lap time. So
yeah, they've both had trouble. They've been invalidating their lap times at the moment, hence why they've had difficulties. I'm just with Donkey now, who set a purple middle sector, so he's going to have to keep an eye on him. He's looking very fast. Rear end slips out a little bit as he now goes through the long sweeping left-hander, which is quite noticeable with an anti-clockwise circuit. He now keeps it tight to the line on the left-hand side, as tight as you like up to the line,
P7.
and he's only P7. So despite having a very pacey middle sector, and that Red Bull set out well for the middle sector, he was losing a lot of speed coming down the back straight. But he's well in the mix though. It's quite tight. 6 tenths of a second separating the top 7 at the moment.
Yeah, the Ferrari of Iran is on his hot lap. He might.
There's a lot of traffic.
Yeah,
you've got Kerem, and you've also got Dar FIFA and the other Williams as well, his teammate Felix, all on the same piece of track with a McLaren in front of him. And this is something that happens quite often in Brazil, especially towards the end of the session. You get this Constantina effect of traffic which starts to impede each other. Fortunately, none of them are on the same laps, but what's going to happen is further down the road behind them, you're going to see a couple of cars on their
I got a bit of information that the Ferrari and Red Bull of Donkey are driving with wet setup, so that's why they are so fast in the middle sector.
Ah, of course. And yes, it is important to note, ladies and gentlemen, once you set your fastest time, you have to start the race in that setup. So and that does not apply. So as you can see now, there's a Mercedes about to try and set a lap, but there's a lot of traffic in front of him.
Are getting a lot of dirty air.
Yeah, as you can see, it's Maiko at the moment. He's going to get a lot of dirty air from that Williams, but he's going to get a nice tow coming up towards the line. So Maiko's about to set a time. It's looking fairly quick. Where is this going to put him? Only 8th. So not the best lap, but you're absolutely right though, Matthias, to mention that point with the setups. A lot of these guys are not going to set blisteringly fast times because they're going to have a very downforce heavy setup for the wet conditions to make the car much more stable in slow speeds. And that's going to be the name of the game. Quite notably, in the 1997 Belgian Grand Prix, Michael Schumacher, back when they had the Sunday warm-up, he set up his car with a very high rain-based downforce setup, and he was about 20th overall in the Ferrari in warm-up. And then when the qualifying began, he qualified further down the order, but overtook the entire field after the first lap, and ended up leading the race by well over a minute about 10 laps later. That's how important getting these setups are, especially in wet conditions, and these guys will know that. So for those of them trying to set the blistering times in qualifying, like Luke and Benjamin, may need to be careful because they may be running less downforce than the guys behind them, and they'll pay for that in the race if indeed it does rain as we're expecting it to.
Thomas locking up quite badly, but it's only turn 1 and he's cutting it. So his qualifying is over in P9, so he is still in front of his teammate. Oh, sorry, championship rival, but this championship rival is going to set another lap time.
So at the moment I'm just riding on board with Luke, the fastest man on the track, setting his final time. It was a so-so first sector. There's a yellow flag in sector 2 which might impede him, but it seems to be behind him, so it's not going to affect him, but there's some traffic ahead of him.
He might get a bit of slipstream from the Red Bull.
He's going to get a lot of slipstream. He's fastest in the middle sector, a fraction of a second up. So he's going to have a long drive to the start finish lane. This could be the first lap in the 1:07s. This could be provisional pole. It's Luke coming across the line. What time is it? 1:07.8.
Watch Benjamin also really close behind him, but Felix is behind him. The next one
Benjamin
lap time. Was Felix
Benjamin is Benjamin is slightly slower in the middle sector. He's about just 100th
Thomas
of a
crashed with
second.
Michael, so he gets a 5-place grid penalty.
Yeah, he's getting
Benjamin
very loose.
cancelling his
He's giving
lap.
up.
Good qualifying session from the Renault so far, but can Jelle improve his P4? Only needs to improve 1/10 for P3. What can he do coming through the final corner?
Well, Lorenzo's down in the middle sector and the first sector, so I don't think this is going to be good enough for him. He's going to try. Obviously, Ice-T up into 5th place. He's going to see what he does coming across the line now. Yeah, he didn't
what can
improve
Ice
on that time.
do?
Ice-T, he was up on himself in Sector 1. He's a little bit down in Sector 2, so touch and go. He's only 100th off his fastest middle sector time. He may just get ahead of Lorenzo, but this is going to have to be a good final sector. What's the time? No, he was well off in the end. It's almost a bit anticlimactic there. No one really improving, and Rike's abandoning his lap, so looks like Luke is secure on pole position.
Yeah, I heard from Thomas that he got a he has been touched by Michael, which ruined his and Michael's qualifying lap, so he is the one who's being punished for doing nothing and getting a 5-race grid penalty. So not really good for the Belgian drivers.
Well, I suppose what's going to be really disappointing is for Tim in the Red Bull, the race winner in Germany. Unfortunately, because he didn't really set a legitimate time, and Monster and KJ and Guy were further down the field than he was in their laps, they're going to start ahead of him. So Tim's going to start plumb last, and that's going to be a very difficult race. But given the wet conditions, anything goes really. It's all down to who keeps the nerve, who can control the car well, and who's going to have the pace in the rain. It's very exciting to see. Let us know in the comment section, guys, who you think is going to win this race. It's a very impressive looking field, but who do you think is going to win, Matthias? I mean, bear in mind we've got Luke and Benjamin look fast, but yeah, perhaps that might be because they're running a dry setup. I almost feel, I look at Luke's pace, and as impressive as that was, it almost seems like, is he running a dry setup? He may be found out in the wet, but that's qualifying. So
this is the grid lineup for the race. Luke, Benjamin, Cortez, Jelle, Icy, Felix, Donkey, Steve, Thomas. Thomas will be starting in 14th place. Maiko and Thomas still under investigation. Simon, Kerem, Mikey, Joran, Paul, Rike, Lorenzo. Kai, Monster and Tim are the ones who haven't set a single lap time in the 18 minutes qualifying session, so what can they do? 3 quite good drivers, especially for Kai and Tim.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. As you can see in that qualifying session, there's a few people out of place, of course, and as we can see, the weather, it is absolutely pouring down. So yes, the weather forecast predictively correct, and Brazil, we are going to get a wet race. So yeah, I was just looking through that order, Matthias, and Darth FIFA was a bit further down than I was expecting, but of course he had that penalty, which is going to hamper him, so he'll be one to watch. I backed him in Germany, it didn't really come through, but I think Felix has a good chance.
He and the Williams drivers have also a wet setup, and I got through that Luke does not have a wet setup, so
as I predicted, I did say that time looked very, very quick. I mean, it depends on what Benjamin's doing as well, but it almost seemed to be too quick to running a downforce heavy setup in the wet weather. But then we don't know. Luke may prefer to drive with less downforce in the wet. It's not the conventional option as we go away for the formation lap now, but there's a lot of good drivers in there. Donkey did well to get 7th. Magic Alonso is usually very, very quick as well, so hopefully he will perform well in the Ferrari. You've got the 2 Mercedes drivers, 9th and 10th as well, so they might be running similar setups. They're usually very similar on pace at the moment. And,
well, I think Felix is 6th and his teammate, where's Darth FIFA?
He's a bit further down the order, but he's got to overtake a few cars on the formation. Did he actually, wait, did he have 2?
No.
How many penalties did he have off this?
Only 5.
Only 5. So he should be further up than that. I'm not quite sure if he's just ended up in that position.
Yeah, just doing slow in the formation lap.
Yeah, no, that's good. I was a bit worried there. I thought, I know he's got a penalty, but I didn't think it was that bad.
I think Michael might get a penalty because there's been controversy that Thomas was on Michael's apex without purpose, and Michael just hit him off on purpose.
Oh, I have to keep an eye on that one. The stewards will be keeping an eye on that one as well. And obviously, lots of incidents in the race. So as Luke's just about to go to the final corner to bunch the pack up, it's another wet race in Brazil. Please remember, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's Formula_Euro_League as well. And also follow us on Instagram for all of the latest and up-to-date news with Formula Euro
And
League.
the website.
Yes, the website as well. And one of the Toro Rossos losing it, Lorenzo losing in the wall. So that's not a good omen if you're losing it on the formation lap in these wet conditions.
Romain Grosjean 2016 flashbacks. Romain Grosjean. Benjamin again had a good qualifying session. Luke as well. Last time he got pole, it was in USA, I think it was, quite a while ago.
Yeah, so Benjamin will be one to watch in second place.
Thomas will actually start in 18th, 19th place.
So we're about to get underway. And
for the Brazilian Grand Prix, I don't see the lights. Ah, there they are. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go, quite long lights, and who has the better start? Luke has an absolute amazing start compared to Benjamin. Felix also already coming down Benjamin for P3.
Oh, Felix has gone for a bold one, a big ballsy dive bomb into turn 1.
Big ballsy dive bomb already up into the podium, made up 3 places at the start. Thomas loses a lot of places at the start. Still good place for Renault.
Benjamin has spun. Yeah, he's completely lost it.
Oh, now he's off. Oh, Benjamin is off track. Benjamin is off track. Oh, and there's as well Simon, the Mercedes driver, off track. So already chaos after a couple of corners. Well, we had 0 incidents in Germany on the first lap. Now Felix already up into P2. Amazing start from the Dutchman. And he's trailing behind his future teammate. Cortez on his debut in P3, really looking fast. Ice-T in 4th. Then we have Donkey. Karen made a good start. Jelle had a quite bad start, right? Down to P7. Michael on P8 will be scoring 4 points. Steven 9th, Mikey in 10th. And Thomas is trying to overtake Paul for P14. He is just behind Tim, who started behind him. But Tim had absolutely amazing start, made up already 7 places. Almost loses the car, but just hangs on to it while following Kai, his rival, on track.
I see you got Felix really looking racy at the moment, and he's looking to try and overtake Luke as soon as he can. It was a great start from him, making up 4 places, but now he's got an opportunity. He's got a great run.
What can he do?
He's going to make it go. He's going to tuck him behind him in the wet conditions, and it's all kicking off behind. As you can see, so many guys all line a stirred of each other. Who's going to be bold? Who's going to
already almost out of the point.
And Guy's gone for a move on one of the Ferraris, and Joran has gone wide, but can he hold in position as Tim has made up 9 places off the start, and he's already up into 11th place. So what a start from Tim, starting from last. The race winner in Germany is already making his way up through the field. It's great to see the Red Bull driver really on it already.
Yeah, Thomas now fights with Paul, I think, yes, for P14.
And sorry, Matthias, Felix is making a move for the lead. He's just come around the outside now. He's battling with Luke as he keeps the grip on the outside. There's literally no grip as the car's understeer. They're still lying astern as he's gone for the move around the outside. Can he make it stick? It's going to be a drag race to turn 1 now, but it seems Felix has got the better traction, and he's made the move around the outside.
What a move, a bit like Verstappen and Ricciardo 2016.
But don't go anywhere yet, because Luke's going to make another move now. He's going to go to the inside. Felix has left the door open, and Luke goes for a big ballsy dive bomb up the inside. Can he make it stick?
Felix
I know he's lost a little bit, but Felix
spun.
keeps the position. Luke had lost the grip at the rear end, and Felix retakes the lead. What a great piece of driving from those two. But also
from the future Williams teammates, really good drive so far. Ice already up into the podium position, so Cortez lost a couple of positions in the last lap. Thomas overtook Jelle. Jelle absolutely had a terrible start already, losing 10 places in 2 laps. Don't know how you do that. Joran and Kai are now fighting for 11th place. Joran getting a really bad accident, which allows Thomas to close up to him, but he stays behind him and being smart.
Well, this is what we were saying, the importance of having a wet weather setup compared to a dry one. And you could see that there, Felix was making that move around the outside, and even though there's not much grip on the outside compared to the racing line,
Benjamin
at this
and
point in
Yellow
time,
almost touches there. Tries to go around the outside. Makes contact again. Allowed Paul to overtake Benjamin here around the outside. Absolutely no grip there, as you said last time. Felix tried to overtake. Ooh, already again touching those two guys. So Benjamin got a really bad shot. Oh, there's Rike and Lorenzo spinning. So someone must have crashed the other one. That's normally a thing when you crash. But Tim now trying to make a move on Mikey.
Oh. Yeah, big crash further down the field.
Yeah.
You've got the Ferrari caught up, you've got Darth Fever caught up, so Joran and Darth Fever really getting too close there, causing Darth Fever to lose some time. He won't want this, because Maiko further up the field is in the points, although at this time it's going to take a massive effort in this championship to change hands at the moment, so it's almost a free hit.
Mikey almost spins, Thomas just avoids him, which allowed... Jesus, so Mikey probably got spun by Kai, but it's a really crazy race so far. Now Yellow tries to get the move done on Mikey. What can he do? Sticks in. Mikey gets the better exit. Yellow breaks later, but he needs to watch his mirrors for Benjamin.
Yeah, and at the moment you can see at the front Felix is really in the groove at the moment. He's pulling away from Luke. And as I was just saying, this is the difference by having the right setup, and that's why he was able to make that overtake look so easy. Luke isn't able to get on the power as early. The Toro Rosso does not look stable at this moment in time.
Look at Maiko trying to make an overtake on Karam. Karam already up into P6, really good start from him in the first 5 laps.
But there's no DRS in these conditions, so it's all going to have to be down to the driver. And as you can see, Maiko was not really able to get alongside Karam. But he's still got a good run coming out of the first couple of corners, and he's going to hold it on into turn 3.
Oh, Guy spun with Joran. Thomas now up to the points again. He'll need to push to Tim. Tim was trying to make the move, trying to close the gap to Maiko, who's battling with Karam. Karam trying to defend his position for 6th place. Right now, Felix pulling away quite well on the Williams. And Luke now has to watch his mirrors for Ice-T coming behind him.
Yeah, it's all going off at the moment. Particularly in the middle of the field, everyone seems to be quite bunched up. There's loads of overtaking, a lot of drivers.
Karam goes wide. Can he stay on the inside to...
Oh, they're side by side. Can Maiko keep it there? It looks like he's going to get it done.
Can Karam do on the exit final corner? Good move.
Great move from Maiko. Can Karam get back at him? He seems to have a bit more straight line speed than the Mercedes, but it looks like he's not going to be able to make that count in these conditions, as Maiko now gets the move done up into 6th place, and now he can get after the Renault of APG.
Tim tries to overtake Steve for 8th place. Steve now needs to...
Oh, that's a great move. Tim's got it done.
Yeah, big ballsy dive bomb.
Yeah. So Tim is up, I think, 11 places?
12.
No, 12 places already. So Tim really on it. He looks like he's got that really hooked up very nicely indeed.
Yeah, I think Red Bull boss will be really sad to see him leaving the team.
Yeah,
I think he's going for the title next season.
Definitely up there with the drivers I think that's going to make it in this battle. And I mean, also going to have to keep an eye on what's going on with Benjamin. My screen, what I'm watching on, which you guys can't see on the broadcast, it's putting Benjamin in the lead, even though I know, looking at the stream, he's nowhere near that. So it's going to have to, hopefully that will sort itself later on.
Yeah. Tim really cutting through the field with a hot knife in butter.
Right behind Karam as well now. He's looking very, very quick, Tim. It's very hallmarks of Max Verstappen's drive for Red Bull in the 2016 Brazilian Grand Prix, where he diced through the field, and another Red Bull driver is looking to do that again today as Tim has got in the slipstream. Kerem. Is he going to get very racy? Tim goes to the outside as Kerem covers the inside line. Can he make it stick? He's going to have to get a good run. He's got the inside, and Tim is still, they're still side by side pushing along. It forces Kerem to go to the inside to cut the corner a little bit, but he's going to be compromised on the end to get turn 3, and now they're side by side again, looking to go through where the DRS would be, but there's no DRS coming in. So who's going to be late on the brakes? Tim's later on the brakes. Can he send it? Can he keep it going? They're still side by side. Kerem, great defensive driving, but Tim has
gets
finally
the better exit.
looks like made the move, and he's up into 7th place.
What a good battle, but also Thomas overtaking Steve, getting pushed to the wall, bit like Barrichello Schumacher 2010 Hungary Grand Prix, but also a good move from the Belgian driver who's already up into P9 after starting 18th, 19th place even it was. So he's trying to follow Tim, who started behind him. Now he's trying to make the overtake on Kerem. Kerem a bit struggling with the pace in the rain. Felix now with a 3.7 seconds gap to Luke, the car behind. Luke will probably now needs to watch a bit in his mirrors for Ice-T Beat, who is trying to close up to him probably. Sorry, my controller fell. What can Thomas do to try and overtake Kerem? Is he going for the dive bomb anytime soon? Is he close enough? That's the question. I think he is.
He's in the run again. I mean,
go for the big bossy dive bomb. Oh,
he's gone
for
the dive. Kerem left the door open, but he's managed to hold around the outside. There's usually a bit more traction on the outside with that line, the karting line, as some of the guys like to say, and it's worth the Kerem this time. So this time he manages to keep his place, but surely Thomas and also Steve Magic Alonso is getting very racy behind him. How much longer can Kerem stay in those championship point scoring positions?
Yeah, Benjamin also going through to Toro Rosso. He started next to Toro Rosso and now he is ahead of one of the Toro Rossos. Also Donkey trying to push the Ice-T for the final podium spot.
Well, Ice-T at the moment seems to be
there's a Michael battling for 5th place. Michael really dominant on this track, master of the field last season. But now he's only in 6th place.
He's got a time penalty. So Ice-T had a time penalty. Yeah, so he lost it coming out of the end. It's a bit harsh, really. I don't know if it's strict corner cutting, but he went a little bit wide.
Spins. Too early on the traction. While Thomas is trying to make a move on Kerem again, getting the favor of the traction. Now into P5, 7, sorry, pushes Kerem a bit wide. Rica retired from the session.
Oh, but Thomas is overtaking Kerem as well, just round the inside. And he's overtook him before that. Yeah, safety car now, so that's a bit strange for that.
This is probably going to ruin Felix. He made it. Yeah, Rica will crash, but this is going to ruin Felix. Made an absolute massive gap to Luke, 5.7 seconds it was. And we see a lot of pit activity with Benjamin, Monster and Uran. Trying to go to the full wets.
Yeah, it was an opportunity there to repair some damage, both for the Haas and the Ferrari drivers, having to replace their front wings. And Paul as well, and the other Haas driver, getting a penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. So, it's not ideal, but as the race progresses on, we'll see if that works out for them. It's a bit early to pit at the moment.
Yeah,
I think these guys
are going
to try and stretch these tyres out until around halfway. Pit onto another set of wets unless the track, it doesn't look like the conditions are improving. Of course, if that does change, we will let you know. But yeah, absolutely right, Matthias. Felix will be massively gutted with the amount that he put up. Well, sorry, the effort that he put in to build that lead is now going to be.
He's going to the pits.
Felix pits. So obviously Felix feels it's a good opportunity. I mean,
Ice-T, Donkey stays out.
So I think it's a bit
Luke,
early.
5-second time penalty. Yeah. Michael as well. Tim as well. If they're going to see Thomas as well. Thomas as well. Oh no! Kerem! Almost crashed into the pit lane. Michael also gets a 5-second time penalty speeding in the pit lane. Same for Luke.
Yeah, it's all over the place because, and as a result, Mikey in the McLaren with the longest name ever that I'm not going to try to attempt to pronounce has managed to make up a few places before coming in the pit lane. But interesting to note, Matthias, Felix has put on the intermediate tyres. So clearly he feels that the track conditions are getting better.
Yeah, you see also the sunlight coming out, so...
whereas Luke, Ice-T, Maiko, and
Thomas is
Tim,
well in the intermediates.
so maybe they know something that we don't, or they're taking a very big gamble and they may get it horribly wrong. Of course, we won't know until the safety car comes back into the pit lane, and that's a very interesting strategy as well, because what you're going to end up happening is these guys will not know what those inters will feel like.
Barn Aram retired from the session.
Whereas the drivers on the wet tyres, especially the ones that put on the newer tyres, will feel a lot more comfortable in these conditions. So it's a bit of a risk, but if it pays off for Felix and for Thomas as well, those two Williams guys are going to look very, very quick. So we'll be waiting to see. I mean, right now I'm looking at the conditions. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a gamble. I probably would have stuck with the wet tyres for now.
Yeah, but the track, you see the sun coming through the clouds, so...
There's still a lot of standing water at the moment, but having said that, Felix in particular looked very, very comfortable on those wet tyres, looked very quick, so he might be able to make these inters work. Thomas as well looked pretty quick as well, and they're set up well, those two Williams guys, so they'll know better than we will in terms of how suitable these tyres are, but it'll be interesting to see once we get back under running who is going to make it work. Got to say a big shout out to Tim. What a start from him, up into 6th place from last at the start, and he's on the fresh wet tyres as well, so he's looking like he has a good chance of maybe getting a podium today at the moment. So whilst we're under safety car conditions, ladies and gentlemen, before the safety car goes go into the pits, so the question I asked earlier was, in the 2003 Brazilian Grand Prix, which driver was awarded the race victory after a countback where Kimi Raikkonen passed them with less than 2 laps to go before the race was stopped? And of course, for those of you that said Giancarlo Fisichella, you were absolutely right. So congratulations. I believe Luke Burns was the first person to say that, so well done to him. Yes, and my little brother who watches this, so well done to him. Very, very.
We have another question for us, because this one was quite easy.
Yeah, it was quite easy. So let's see. I'll have a little
I
think.
I have one.
Oh yeah, what? Yeah, if you have a question.
How many laps did you drove under the safety car in 2016?
Ooh. So how many laps was the safety car out on the track in 2016?
Yeah.
Do you know the answer?
Safety car in this lap. No, I just have to Google it. I don't know. I thought it's a good question, but don't know the answer it myself.
Well, I mean, you have to know the answer, Matthias, before the question. Anyway, safety car's coming into the pits now, so Donkey is going to bunch the field up now, and he's going to have to hope to try and get a good run away. And remember, he's on 10-lap old wet tyres, whereas Felix is on 1 lap. Everyone except for Lorenzo is on young wet tyres. So now we're back underway. Green flag racing. Donkey leads the way. Felix gets a good run on him. He might be feeling
what can he do on the intermediate tyres?
But he's not used to those, as Ice-T now is battling with Luke and Maiko as well, and Maiko's trying to go around the outside of him. Is he going to make that move stick?
Oh, he gets not the favour of the traction.
No. Still on the outside though, Maiko. Both of them getting really, really racy, and you've got Tim right behind in the Red Bull as well. It's a drag race coming into the corner. Which one of them is going to get there first? Who's going to be boldest on the brakes? They both go in late. Maiko, can he hold it around the outside? He does, but Ice-T is still fighting him. He's still behind him. Tim is in there for action as well. Are they going to hold position, or is it going to... Oh, there's been a big crash behind. Oh, what a massive crash behind.
What happened? I couldn't see it.
3 or 4 cars. So the McLaren of Mikey lost complete control. Lorenzo and Bob
10 or 2 cars with him. Simon and Jelle. So again, a disaster for Simon. Felix still finding he is finding the pace on the intermediates. He's being stuck behind Donkey.
So they lost control as well, but we're still racing. There's no safety car. Amazingly, no safety cars come out for this incident, considering that what it has come out for in the past, considering patch. Oh, and Donkey's lost control. He's lost it back end, and now Felix will drive right past him into the lead. And well, Donkey
is he going to pull away again?
Well, those wet tyres of Donkey really not feeling it. I mean, the intermediates is a bit questionable because Darth FIFA has fell down the order a little bit, whereas
no,
Felix
he's still in
really
9th place. Oh, he might get 2 places now because those two, Renault and McLaren, collide. Yes, he takes 2 positions.
Yeah, Lorenzo went horribly wide out of turn 1. Just kept going. It's like the McLaren just wouldn't stop and he was sliding. Couldn't keep it under control.
Oh, IST tries to make the move on Tim, or he was just defending it. Tim really raced on those tires of him. The full wet tires.
Very quick at the moment.
What can Luke do to Donkey? Can he make his P2 back again? Can he regain it? Can he defend from Maiko? Maiko now in 4th place compared to championship rival in 7th place. He'll be gaining some points, but not that much. Only 6 points. But those 6 points could be crucial in the championship later on. Here with Kai trying to push to Steve and Lorenzo. Because he's obviously the faster one here. You ran 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings.
Yeah, so Felix is already pulling away at the front. He's got Donkey on very old tires. And well, by that logic, now that should be the cut-off point for all the drivers on wet tyres now. The intermediate tyres are the tyres to be on at the moment. As you can see, Felix is flying. Darth FIFA's also made up a place as well. He's up into 7th position. So, and he's right on the back of Ice-T, and the battle with him and Tim, as Tim has overtaken Ice-T again. He's up into 5th place now, so the Red Bull driver starting the race from the
Luke
back
and Donkey battle for P2. Donkey now down the inside, the Red Bull, and it's the sister team car.
Oh yeah, you got Maiko as well, and they've touched, and that's going to allow Maiko through, and Maiko is up into 3rd place on the podium, right behind Luke as well. So Donkey is starting to struggle on their wet tyres. It looks like he may need to pit to put on the inters. He should not have stayed out, that's for sure. And now he's starting to fall down the order. And next behind him will be his teammate Tim. Will he get in his teammate's way, or will the Red Bull team tell him to move out of the way to let Tim through? Because Tim is flying up the field at the moment.
Yeah, Ice-T getting a bit wide out of the corner, so again getting wide, so this might allow Thomas to get a better exit on his intermediate tires. Now down the inside of the
oh, they're side by side and they touch. That's going to force Ice-T out wide, but he just about holds it. But he seems to have more speed. They're still touching and battling. They can't avoid touching one another. And now they're about to go to turn 1. And Star Fever, is he going to be late on the brakes?
Big balls,
he does go late on the brakes. And he's made the
has
move
it for now. No, he fights back. He has it for now. What can Ice do? Can he fight back? Can he overtake it down the main straight?
Well, he's got more speed on the straights than Thomas does, but Thomas is on those inter tyres, so the intermediate tyres looking like the tyre to be on. But there's a big battle going on between Magic Alonso, Guy in the racing point, going around the outside of him as Magic Alonso struggles to slow it down. And you've got APG, TP Cortez as well behind him, and Joran as well in the other Ferrari. It's all kicking off, fighting for the last championship point between those 4. This race is starting to come alive all of a sudden now, Matthias.
Yeah, now Simon pitted for the intermediates, and now he's setting the fastest lap, sorry, so he has made the right gamble. So his teammate will pit for the intermediates anytime soon. I think the Williams team made the right decision to go on the medium,
it's a great strategy call at the moment, and everyone's going to have to stop at least one more time anyway. But right now you've got Thomas and Felix flying on those into Simon as well.
6 seconds gap against Luke, and Felix regains the extra championship point. Tim now goes to the pit lane. Save for
so everyone's going to
Luke.
Pit stops, so, and that's going to be a big
5
problem for those
second time
guys
penalty
now.
for Tim, speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, what a shame. But yeah, that's going to be such a big call now, because what you've ended up doing is we could end up with a Williams 1-2 now, because Thomas is right on the back of Donkey, so much faster than him, and Donkey's going to try and stretch those wet tyres out and then put on some ETs later, that's for sure. But right now Williams are going to be licking their lips. They've got a great opportunity to finish first and second today as the race is currently panning out.
They are 6 lap old intermediate, so can they make another 20 laps on the medium, on the inters? Jesus.
I would say probably not. I don't think it'd be smart to either. I know the guys behind him coming on inters now may have to consider going 20 laps, but I don't know. Right now,
that's doable.
Yeah, it's doable.
Thomas tries to overtake Donkey for P3, and he has done it.
Yeah, as you can see, he's just so much faster, so much more.
Look at Michael, also 2 seconds losing in 1 lap, so he'll need to pit again.
Well, this is going to be very interesting now between Maiko and Thomas. Is Maiko going to be able to head Thomas off, or is he going to have to pit as Felix does another fastest lap? He's in qualifying mode at the moment.
Well, I don't know if he's just getting used to the intermediate tires, getting down temperature, Jesus.
Got the right temperature. As a guy comes to the pits and he's speeding in the pit lane as well, so in the wet conditions it's very difficult to slow it down before the pit lane, hence why a lot of drivers are getting penalties for speeding in the pit lane. But right now, as you can see, Thomas is close right up to the back to Maiko at the moment. It's only a matter of time now before Thomas makes that overtake, so right now it's looking very likely that we're going to see a Williams 1-2. The real world of Formula 1, Claire Williams couldn't have dreamed of Williams being in a position like this anytime soon, but it's about to happen.
Williams needs to sign me as a team boss in real life.
Yeah, so Simon is flying in the Mercedes at the moment.
Yeah.
In the Mercedes. He's half a second quicker than what Felix is doing at the moment, but Felix is probably just driving within himself, not pushing too hard,
again,
stretching his tyres out.
Away from Maiko in one lap.
Yeah, he's so much quicker, and because of this,
title of being the master of Interlagos.
At the moment, it's looking very much likely. Thomas is stuck behind Maiko.
It's the better exit.
He's got a great run on him. He's going to get this move done now, but Maiko's not going to make it easy for his championship rival as he dives into the pit lane. It had to be done. I'm going to say Maiko probably did that. And he's
again a 5-second penalty, so there's 10 seconds worth of time penalties. Which won't be removed because it's your own fault, you brake too late. Well, I think Felix is trying to push for a free pit stop, but I think... Ooh, Donkey pitted for another wet tire.
So right now, Tim looks like he could end up finding himself the podium. Yeah, Donkey... Did he pit?
Donkey didn't pit yet. No.
He must have.
But I think Felix, wait.
Sorry.
I think Felix is trying to pull a gap for a free pit stop in front of Tim, because Tim is probably his main rival and he's on the intermediate. So I think Felix now has the free pit stop, so he can make a free pit stop, I think, and still come out ahead of Tim. So
Felix is still going very, very quickly. He's just set the fastest middle sector of anybody. So expect this one maybe a fastest lap as well. I'm just seeing in the comments section, guys, Danny Hetkamper has just commented to say, as Felix sets the fastest lap of the race, first guy into the 1:19, so he is absolutely flying. He's just said, I know the strategy of Donkey and it's a good one.
Well, the intermediate tires are the fastest right now. Maybe Donkey's trying to stretch his wets and
Donkey's just coming into the pits now, so he's going to go on.
What tire is he going to?
Well, it's got to be the intermediates. He can't put anything else on. The wets are too slow. He's putting on the intermediate tyres. Yeah. No, I was going to say, if he puts soft tyres, I mean...
Now, is he going to stay at the front of Luke? I think he will be rejoining behind.
He's going to fall a bit down the order. I'm going to say possibly going to end up 9th or 8th, probably 8th at the moment, or 7th, sorry. Yeah, as you've got Guy just coming through. Donkey's coming out of the pit lane, so Donkey may end up staying in 7th place. She's got the racing point with a lot of momentum, but yeah, he's out in 7th, so this will be interesting. He's on fresh intermediate tyres. He can go to the end of the race. I'm expecting everyone from Tim, Luke, Ice-T, Maiko and Donkey, and Guy as well, probably everyone between 3rd and 11th to go to the end. Felix and Darfifa possibly will have to go to the end now, because a pit stop for... Well, a pit stop... Felix has a free pit stop, like you said, but Thomas probably not now. So he's going to have to go to the end on those older tyres.
Thomas probably will rejoin in P7 or P8 when he makes a pit stop.
Yeah, well, if they have to. So because of that, there is that element where Felix may have to stay out now in order to keep the win. At the moment, he's got a choice.
I think Thomas is just trying to stretch his tires, because he's not closing behind Felix and he's not being
well, no, this is what I mean. Because right now you need about 25 seconds for a good pit stop round here.
Felix has that. He has 2 seconds spare.
Felix at the moment is only about... Well, Felix right now, he's 12.5 seconds ahead of his teammate. Is he, or am I... Yeah, he's 12.5 seconds ahead of his teammate. So, yes, you're right. Felix would come out in second most likely, but because of that, he may have to stay out now because Thomas would end up inheriting the lead. I think if I was Felix right now, I'd probably stay on those tyres and go to the end of the race. Just look after them. It'll be a bit difficult towards the end because they're going to be sliding about and people are going to catch him. But he's got enough
will
of
be
a
26
cushion.
lap old, so if they make it to the end.
He's got enough of a cushion for the moment, and you've got Thomas, his teammate, who's probably going to serve as a good buffer with a 15-16 second gap to Tim in third place. So right now, it's advantage Williams.
Yeah.
So they've got to look after those tyres.
If you commented, I'll search the answer for my question.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to Google it.
Okay, you're going to do that. Right, okay, so in the meantime, so we've got, if you've just joined us, 20 laps into this race, Williams 1-2 at the moment, I know, never thought I'd see that anytime soon, but Felix and Darth FIFA 1 and 2 at the moment in these ever-changing conditions. Tim Wetting in the Red Bull started the race at the back of the grid and ended up in third place. What a drive from him so far. Definitely a candidate for driver of the day. Let us know who you think that will be later on. Luke also in fourth place at the moment, started on pole, but started the race with a dry setup, which has really compromised him, and he's down in fourth place. You've got Ice-T in fifth in the Racing Point, battling hard with Maiko in sixth in the Mercedes. You've got Donkey in the sister Red Bull, seventh. Guy in eighth in the Racing Point. Magic Alonso in the Ferrari. Usually a guy that comes alive as the race goes on, the longer it goes. And you've got Monster.
Oh, Simon spins for the third time.
Simon, Simon.
I can't
just
find the
about
answer to my question. It's nowhere to be found on the internet.
I'm sure you probably look hard enough, but I think maybe we'll have to leave that one for next week. But yeah, as you can see there, a big spin from Simon, who was looking very quick climbing back up the field, and he's now down in 13th again, or sorry, 14th, just say. For those of you joining the race wondering what happened to Benjamin, Benjamin lost it on the first lap and is now had to recover and is now in 8th place at the moment. So good recovery drive from him as Tim sets the fastest lap on those intermediate tyres.
Yeah,
so he's
we
really
have
got
something in the comment section going on. The team boss of McLaren says Thomas is at risk for a penalty as he crashed into Mikey. I don't know where he crashed into Mikey, but
I think earlier in the race they did have an incident earlier on in the
probably
race.
just a start incident.
But of course the stewards will be reviewing that towards the end of the race.
He's now saying he won't get a 15 plus second penalty, and Danny Headbumper says I predict Thomas and Felix needs to pit again. I don't think they will, because
they're kind of into a position now where if Felix pits, he's in second at the moment, just ahead of Tim on fresh intermediate tyres to the end. But Thomas pits, he's going to end up in third behind him. At this point in time, for Williams, with the gap they have, and as quick as Tim is, he's only around 6-7 tenths a second a lap faster. That's not enough time left to catch them. Yes, the tyres will start to fall off towards the end, but right now, if Felix and Thomas can look after their tyres, they're kind of in a position where they've got no choice. If they're going to finish 1-2 in this race, they have to preserve their tyres and not pit again. And
I don't know,
the gap,
I don't know if
Felix
he can drive 14 seconds closer.
Tim is going quickly, but he's still, as I said, he's around half a second to 7 tenths of a second a lap faster. I just don't think that's going to be enough time. Yeah. Yes, the tyres will fall off on the two Williams guys because they're 6 laps older, but I just feel unless there's a safety car or an incident on track, I think they're in a position they've got no choice. They have to stay out, and it doesn't look like they're going to be racing each other because at the moment Felix is faster than Thomas is, and Thomas is not going to be pushing. He knows he's got second place in the bag as long as he can bring it home. So I respect your opinion, Danny, but I just don't think that's going to be happening. I don't think they're going to pit again. But of course, what do we know? We're just commentators, Matthias, aren't we?
Yeah, and I think
don't know.
Tim has a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Luke has one. Yes. I don't know if Ice-T has one. Mike has 10 seconds. So
I'll have a quick look as well.
The
just
Williams
to have a look.
don't have any penalties.
So Felix is clean as a whistle at the moment, nothing for him to worry about. See, so is Thomas, he's got no penalties or even warnings. So both Williams drivers behaving very nicely. Tim, as you mentioned, he does have a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Of course, Luke has 10 seconds worth of time penalties. So he's been a bit naughty in this race. Ice-T also has a penalty. So at the moment, yes, as the race is unfolding, everything is going Williams' way at the moment. As Tim sets a new fastest lap, 1:18.8, so he's really putting the pressure on now, and he managed to find 0.8 of a second on Thomas, but that's still not fast enough. We've got 13 laps to go. Tim, at minimum, is going to have to be at least a second and a bit faster than that to catch Thomas. So yeah, Williams right now, no penalties, no worries. They're driving within themselves. They've maintained the gap to each other. Right now, I just don't think it's going to be enough time to see if Tim can catch them. But he'll certainly try. He's got the speed.
Yeah.
But unless there's a safety car, it looks very likely at the moment that Williams are going to be very, very happy with their performance this race. And it's been coming. There's two of the better drivers in this category, in this championship.
In the rain.
And everything, the setups was perfect. Of course, Thomas will have a case to think he could have been leading this race if it weren't for his qualifying penalties. But right now, second place in the leading the championship by quite some margin. The only driver ahead of him is his teammate, who can't do anything about the championship. So right now, Thomas will be sitting very, very pretty as his championship rivals are well behind him in the race.
Yeah, there are 3 cars in the second. Ice-T, Maiko and Donkey fighting for P5 on track. So what can they do? I think...
Well, Ice-T has been struggling in the wet conditions at the moment. He's not really been going, and you've got Maiko's been right on his case, and Donkey is starting to climb up the field again. So he's going to look very racy towards the end, but at the moment, I would say fifth place might be the best. Fifth place might be the best for him in this race. Luke, a little further ahead. He may come into play later on. He's starting to fall into their clutches.
Tim and Thomas both gained 17 positions.
Yeah,
17.
That's incredible.
Kai gained 8, Monster gained 7 after having a grid of a qualifying pin. Felix gained 5. Luke lost 3. Lost 3. Ice-T still on the same spot. Maiko 1-3. Donkey still in the same. Benjamin lost 5. 6, sorry. Kai stops. Williams on a 1 stop and the rest on a 2 stop except for Donkey. And the tires are 16 lap all over Williams, and then we have 10, 10, 10, 10, 8, 7, 8, 9, 7, 7, 7, 7, and all you go on.
Yeah, they're looking really racy now, as Ice-T didn't get a good run out of turn 1. Now he's going to be under this increasing pressure from Maiko, who's closely being followed by Donkey as well. This is a battle that's been developing for some time and is looking like the big battle on the track at the moment. Back down in 11th place, we've got TP Cortez and Joran battling it out. Got Monster, good effort from him from the back of the grid, is up into the points at the moment. Or I should know, tell a lie, he's actually in 11th place, sorry. As my screen is still sort of confused as to where Benjamin is. Benjamin's currently running in 8th place, but at the moment it shows him, sometimes on my screen it's showing him 14th, and then sometimes it's showing him in the lead, battling with Felix, which is really strange. I'm not sure what's going on there. I can assure you that Felix is well out in front, and he's pulling away. He's on the same pace as Tim.
Yeah,
so
but Felix really manages tires well. And Maiko getting the better exit than Icy, but just not... Yeah, he get a bit of oversteer, I don't know.
Yeah, it's also looking like a big opportunity now.
On the outside,
what's on one side? Ice-T's gone to the inside, but he's blocking the outside. That's very good defensive driving from Ice-T. Positions his car perfectly to stop from Maikon from overtaking.
Yeah, Maiko
now he's going to have to reset himself.
Maiko, one of the best attackers and defenders on track, and he has won last year's Grand Prix in Brazil by a couple of seconds, 10-20 seconds, but now he's in 6th place, more than 40 seconds behind the leader. So
Ice-T's gone a little bit wide now. Is Maiko going to make a move to the inside? He's going to tuck in. It's Ice-T defending the inside line. He's really struggling at the moment, Ice-T. He just cannot see.
Under braking, wants to overtake him.
Under braking, that racing point is not looking stable at the moment. He's covering all of the inside lines. He's under some immense pressure from Michael and Donkey, and it's a poor exit there. Michael's going to tuck in again to go for another move. Michael's got to get that exit coming out into the final corner. He's just not able to get the traction of that Mercedes to get a good enough run. How will he do this time? He's got behind him, Donkey loses the rear end, but it's a good exit from Michael this time. He's in the slipstream, he's very close, closer than he's been before. Is this going to be a move to move into fifth place? Sorry,
I think
goes to the outside.
Still amazing drive from Ice-T. Placing his cars, as you said already, perfectly, but Michael tries to do the switch back in the center S's. Can he make it into the corner? Which is quite a good overtaking opportunity down a long straight. And he just parks the car in the middle of the track, which is really good and fair.
Yeah, you're only allowed to make one defensive maneuver to defend, and that's what Ice-T is doing. You know, despite being under some immense pressure in this race so far, he's been ice cool, as you like. And that's what you want to see. As much as we love to see overtakes, we can appreciate defensive driving, and Felix goes even faster. So much for the Williams guys losing their tyres towards the end. They're not only lapping quickly, but Felix is pulling away from Thomas and Tim as well. Tim not able to maintain that speed, and he's not able to catch up with the likes of Thomas.
Getting now the better exit out of Maiko, but Maiko wants to make this move ASAP because he's losing quite some time to Luke. Can't really get it right on the traction, but maybe Donkey can make a surprise when those two guys are battling. I don't think he will.
Well, he's in the slipstream now. He may have to make a dive bomb to make this move work, and he goes for a dive around the outside. But once again, Ice-T once again puts his car to the middle of the track, and they're really close again now. It's not a great exit. There's a lot of traction at Mercedes. He's tucked right under the gearbox of Ice-T. Is this going to be the moment where Maiko makes the overtake? He goes to the inside to defend Ice-T.
They almost touch.
Very
contact
close.
On the side on the dashboard.
Oh, but he's gone for the up and over.
Donkey now tries to overtake Maiko because Maiko got a really bad exit. Now he's down on the inside. Oh, Maiko losing a place instead of winning one.
Yes, Donkey goes to the inside, Maiko to the outside. He's going to try and get back at him in the next corner, hold his line to the inside, and he manages to stay in front. It's great racing, but is Donkey going to give that up? He may try and dive around the inside. This is allowing Ice-T to get away. Luke is starting to fall back into this battle as well, so it could be a big battle shaping up for fourth place between those four guys towards in this race. 6 laps to go, everybody. Felix leading a Williams 1-2 at the moment, and it looks like that's going to be nailed on unless we have another incident, because right now I think Tim is settling for third place, which is pretty sensible. It's a great effort from him as well.
I think Donkey's now going to try and attack Michael because he got a really good exit, untapped Mercedes. Going for the big ballsy dive bomb. Yes, he is. Just not enough. Trying to make a bit of a switchback. Can he do it?
Not enough.
He gets the better exit on the Mercedes, so he's trying to probably settle his car.
Oh, he's got a great run on Michael as well. Michael's left the inside open, and he's going to make that move. Donkey goes to the inside, Maiko races him hard on the outside and carrying plenty of speed. Maiko goes wide. That's not a lot of grip on that AstroTurf. It's all full of standing water, but somehow he's able to keep that car rotating.
Now around the outside, can he do a move? He's now in front, but Maiko fights back. He's in front of the Mercedes.
It's a great overtake.
Jesus.
So let us.
One sector of long battling, both really fair and square. All the overtakes he tried to do. No damage, no crashes, no incidents. Now trying to push the Ice-T for 5th place and 10 points to steal some good points for the team. 25 points are laying right in front of him if he overtakes Ice-T beats for the Red Bull team.
But let us know, guys, who do you think is going to finish in this ahead in this battle for 5th place between
Tim now makes the fastest lap. Puts in the fastest lap,
between Ice-T, Donkey and Maiko as well. And Maiko's got a great run. He's going to go for a dive up the inside of Donkey, sorry. No,
there's also a 4-way battle for the last point on the table. What can Uran do? Is he trying to overtake Cortez?
Yeah,
bring it down the inside. Being squeezed all the way down the inside to the wall. He's now on the inside. Can he stick there? And there's also a battle in front of them between Ferrari and the Haas, and he now makes the overtake stick. Can Cortez fight back on the exit? Just got a bit of understeer on his Renault.
All for the last championship point, guys. Who do you think's going to get it?
Yeah, I think Steve or Joran. Joran looking really also racy on those intermediate tires of him.
Yeah, because right now you've got Ferrari, Haas, Ferrari, Renault, all line stirred with each other, all fighting for that last championship point. There's going to be one happy guy with a point and 3 very unhappy drivers missing out on a championship point. Let us know, guys, who do you think is going to finish in the championship points between Magic Alonso, Monster, Joran, or APG TP Cortez in the sister Renault at the moment. Benjamin further down the road ahead of them, so he's not going to have to worry about them.
He's probably trying to catch up to him. But who's trying to make the overtake? Is it Joran again, or is it Monster?
It's 4 of them all trying to get through now. It looks like Monster's going to go for a dive up the inside of Magic Alonso, but he thinks differently. Yeah, it wasn't really on, but now he's in a Ferrari sandwich, this Haas, and he could come under increasing pressure from Joran. If he doesn't get that exit right, Magic Alonso gets a good exit there, and Joran is all over the back of Monster as well now.
Monster tries to cover the inside. Joran favors the outside, but gets squeezed wide. Simon now with the fast lap.
Oh, he's going to go very wide on the Astra. That's the last place you want to be, and that's good defensive driving from Monster as well. Very, very close racing. And this is allowing Magic Alonso to get further and further away in the Ferrari to break ahead, but he just can't quite seem to shake them off.
Well, I think Steve, Season 1 champion, founder of the league, is a really fast guy, but he can't pull away quite well in his Ferrari. He is 13 seconds behind Kai. I think back for the battle for 5th place, sorry, Matthias, as you've got Donkey right on the back of Ice-T. Lost a little bit of traction coming out, but he's in the slipstream and he's getting very, very close. Is he going to make a dive bomb? He goes around the outside. Is he going to make a stick this time? He's got more grip on those fresher tyres and he's around the outside, but Ice-T battles him hard again. He goes in to turn 3, stays ahead. Maiko following close behind. He's going to look very racy, look for an opportunity to reclaim that position if he can get it back. But now Donkey's gone up the inside. He's got some great run on the inside of Ice-T. Oh, to make contact, Donkey in a half spin, he saves it. Now gets the better exit.
And it's still together. And you've got Maiko as well looking inside and outside. He doesn't know where to go. And now the Ice-T keeps it to the inside. And wow, they're still going
Felix
again.
with the fastest lap. Jesus.
Oh, he's just taking the piss. He's just taking the piss now. Felix, come on. I mean, with so much for these tyres falling off, Felix is still setting fastest laps. How much more pace has Felix got?
Felix is a master in the rain. I predicted Felix is going to win. I predicted it yesterday. I said Felix probably going to win.
I said to start, I mean, I'll back him, one of my co-commentators for FVROF2, Felix. He's always shown some good pace, and I think, you know, that setup, I just thought the way he set his car up was going to work for the Williams today. And it's worked a treat for them so far, but now we're back to the battle again with fifth place. This time Donkey has slipped a bit further back. Yeah, no, but he's recovered, considering the ball start, but Donkey looks for a little look around the inside, not close enough. Just that I see. But now Maiko's going to have a great run on him.
For Maiko. Maiko gets the better exit probably in the Mercedes with the better traction, second to last lap.
But Maiko's straight line speed is what's letting him down. He's got a lot of grip in the corners and under braking to catch up, but on the straights when he really needs to pull alongside the driver in front, he just can't seem to make that move. Just got too much downforce on that Mercedes at the moment.
Yeah, but he's also favouring the corners, so he can probably get a good exit and get in.
And also, just to go back, sorry again, Matthias, just back to the battle. All of a sudden, the Ferraris have switched places. Joran is now in 10th place, so he's past Monster and Steve.
Made a mistake.
Yeah, something's happened that's caused Steve and Monster to fall behind Joran in the Ferrari. As now Monster and also APG TV Cortez is also ahead of Monster and Steve. So now Joran is occupying the last championship point in the Ferrari as he slides it round the corner. Those inters are really screaming on his car. Almost drifting round there. Now we're about. Oh yeah, the late great Conor McRae would have been proud of that one.
Joran McRae.
But now Donkey's gone up the inside of Ice-T. Sorry, he's gone for a move there, and they've touched. Oh, he just manages to hold on for position. Sorry, Ice-T staying ahead. Just looking at that Red Bull. I'm just going to have a quick look at penalties now to Let's see.
Donkey gets the favor of the exit. Is he going around the outside? Yes, he is. Can he hang on to it?
Oh, he's around the outside. Can he hold on this time?
Still behind. He's really faster than the Racing Point, but he can't get past. Now trying it around the inside. Can't get past. You just can't get past Racing Point.
Oh, it's
absolutely
brilliant driving.
Mega defending from Ice-T to keep that position from 2 cars behind him, who's trying multiple overtakes in such a short time. Just placing his car every time on the right time. There's a yellow in sector 1. I don't know
one thing that's important to mention while all this battle is going on, of course, we
last
haven't
lap
looked
for Felix.
But Ice-T has a time penalty. Maiko has 10 seconds worth of penalties because of incidents earlier on. Luke also has time penalties. So right now, if my maths is right, Donkey, he doesn't know this yet, or maybe he's been told by his engineers, we'll see, but he's currently sitting in a net 4th place. So he does not need to take the risk and overtake Ice-T on the road at the moment. But to try and tell him that, he's going to try anyway.
Steve retired from the session on the last lap.
Oh, that's probably what the yellow flag was for. He lost. Yeah, just looking on the map, Steve, he's pulled over. So obviously he's giving up the ghost on that one. Don't know if there's something wrong.
Watching Felix right now. He drove an absolutely amazing race and he wins this race in Brazil on track and off track.
That's a dominant drive. Brilliantly done. Excellent drive.
Finish behind him, double Williams, but there's still this battle. But Donkey needs to sit there like a duck.
Tim has got ahead of. Sorry, not Tim. Sorry, I'm talking about a different Red Bull. So, yeah, so they're all still lying as third, and you still got Donkey fighting away as Darth FIFA
Thomas gets P2 over the line.
Great job
it's
from
Williams. 1-2 for Williams, and the fastest lap.
From the back of the grid, Tim Wetting in the Red Bull finishes in third. What a great drive from him.
Oh, and he gets another 5-second time penalty.
Oh, it was an unserved penalty, so...
Both guys starting on the last row, P20 and P19, both getting on the podium. Actually amazing drive.
But this is the battle coming on as Luke comes across the line on 4th on the road. But you got Ice-T comes across as 5th, but Donkey, I'm guessing, is going to go 4th,
for Red Bull, 6th for Benjamin, 5th for Luke, 7th for Ice-T, 8th for Maiko, 9th for Kai, 10th for Joran probably.
Yeah, Joran in the Ferrari picking up the final points. Great job from him to recover there. But that's everyone. That's a brilliant result from Williams. 1 and 2. Claire Williams hugging her dad, crying at the joy of her team. Finally,
this is the second 1-2 of Williams.
It's the first since I've been here, so it counts. But
well,
that's a great
Felix
result from
absolutely dominating the race, and it suddenly dried up.
The setup was
spot on. Look at those inter tires. Thomas is second place, Tim in third place, all Dutch. Oh no, I wanted to say all Dutch podium, but Thomas is Belgian.
27 laps of driving on those inter tires made them work really well, and they made the early strategy call. Not just having the setup spot on from qualifying, because it did look bleak from me qualifying, but the strategy was spot on. Put the inter tires on during the safety car period at the right time, made it work for them, and it was easy for them. I think, well, without saying it, very easy driving
in the race. These are the unofficial results of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Felix, Thomas, Tim, Donkey, Luke, Benjamin, Ice-T, Maiko. Maiko loses a lot of points to his championship rival Kai, Joran, ATGP Cortez just outside the points on his debut, got a good qualifying in P3. Monster, Simon, Lorenzo, Jelle, Magic Alonso, Mikey, Karen, Paul, and Enrique in last place. Again, 0 points for Enrique and a 0 points finish for Alfa Romeo. But I just want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe on the channel.
So
follow on our Instagram.
Who's your driver of the day, Matthias, as well? Sorry to interrupt. I mean, let us know in the comments who you thought your driver of the day was, guys. But what about you, Matthias? Driver of the day? Who do you think?
Thomas.
Oh, really? I'm
or
gonna...
Felix.
No, I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna go Tim. Again? I mean, as brilliant as Felix, I know, but as brilliant as Felix was, and Thomas obviously 1-2 for Williams. Tim coming from the back of the grid and making the strategy work, and in a way, Perhaps if he didn't have to fight from the back, he could have given
Yeah.
Felix and Thomas a bit more of a fight. But no, I'm going to give it to him. Come starting back of the grid to get on the
It's been a good race
podium.
overall.
Brilliant
Brazil
job
always
from him.
provides good racing. Well, I
But
want
yeah,
to thank you
sorry.
guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube. Follow the Xbox account. Check out our website. And I hope to see you next time at Canada. Where the championship can't be decided yet. So we'll wait to Japan. And I just hope to see you next time in